Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Brocast.
Episode 3.
Josh is still waking up, and so am I.
We're trying for you.
You got less of an excuse, man, because you're 3 hours ahead of time.
I know, but, you know.
When you party like a rock star like Josh does, you know, it takes a toll.
I was up till 2 a.m. watching Slaughter High, so.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's a
Classic
gem.
American cinema here.
Yeah, yep. Okay.
Speaking of cinema, before we get started, a continuation from last episode. Between last episode and this one, I went and I watched Django Unchained.
Yes, he did.
And I have to admit it here on air, my brother was right.
Yeah.
The movie was awesome. It was
Thank you.
really, really good. And I don't even like Tarantino movies, as you know from last time. That movie was great. That might have been my favorite Tarantino movie.
Yeah, it's in mine also.
I like Inglourious Basterds a lot, too. Although both movies have the same cool German-Austrian dude. What's his name?
Christopher Waltz.
Dude, that guy's a seriously good actor.
He kills it. He's also a Bond villain. Yeah.
I think you're right.
And he kind of fits it. Little guy with the accent. He's kind of maniacal looking. Yeah.
That guy's good. So anyways, all you out there, don't listen to me on that movie. That movie was really good. Josh was right.
Did you know Leo was going to be in there?
I knew Leo was in there. I heard all kinds of hype about the great acting job he did.
I had no idea. And then
just popped up.
And then it gets to the scene where it zooms in on it, so it's like, holy shit.
Oh, they had all kinds of great actors in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson stole that movie. He
was hilarious.
God, that was fantastic.
It's hard to paraphrase that movie when you're trying to be, polite.
Yeah, there's no. As much as I love to quote movies, you cannot quote that one.
Hell no.
Not in polite company. All right, so this week's episode, ladies and gentlemen,
I give.
Sorry.
Our best guitarists of all time. We're moving away from movies into music.
That was the highest percentage of the 0 votes we had for episode 3 was guitarists, so we went with that one.
The highest percentage is 0. What does nobody want to talk? That's what we're going to do.
Yep. After we did the poll.
Just like Josh watches movies that no one else watches, we're going to talk about things that no one else wants to talk about.
Yeah. Yep. I still smash them in everyone's face, though.
That's all right. You're right about Django. All right, so here's what we're going to do. This probably won't be quite as long of an episode as some of the other ones, but we're going to go through our individual lists of our top 5 guitarists of all time, talk about why we picked them, and we're going to alternate 5. We're going to work our way up to number 1.
There'll be some extra honorable mentions.
List, though.
Huh?
So we haven't looked at each other's lists, though, so we'll be surprising each other as we go through them.
Yes.
For the most part.
And these are our personal favorites. We are by no means trying to create some master hierarchy of guitarists.
Yes. This is not a list of the most skilled guitarists of all time. This is our favorite guitarists that we think are the best, personal opinion.
Yes.
Why we do this.
It's just all fun.
Okay. So, Josh, I flipped a coin. You won. You go first.
Wow. Okay. So, out of my list, let's throw in Mike Emmett. You probably don't know who that is. You're not a big metal guy.
Let's all pause for 2 seconds as his music starts.
Yes. Honorable things about Mike Emmett. He was a death metal guy. Not everybody's in death metal, I understand. He pioneered in the 90s what was called melodic death metal, which is just a whole subgenre in there, usually not found in the States. And while being incredible at all that, he also is in a really cool, like, stoner classic rock band called Spiritual Beggars. But he's a total lead guy. He, you could hear his work anytime, as you'll hear in the background. He's just a badass, man. Awesome leads, high vibrato, dual guitar lines on everything. And he usually plays with his brother, Chris, who's a drummer. Like I said, his band's Spiritual Beggars is the classic rock one. Carcass was the old.
I was gonna ask what the metal band was. Carcass.
Do you know Carcass?
I've heard of it.
And then Arch Enemy was the Swedish one, which is, came after Carcass. It's a girl singing. She's gorgeous. She sounds like Satan, but she's gorgeous.
Nothing like Swedish death metal. Female.
Yeah. That's the only girl you probably put the earphones in before you go to bed with her. Yeah. Great, though. Great.
Wow, this list breakdown is starting off.
He's actually married to Glenn Danzig. Yeah.
The female singer is?
Yeah.
Wow, that tells you all you need to know about her. You broke out.
She's
Glenn
like 26,
Danzig.
gorgeous, covered in tattoos, and Danzig is like
I'm wondering if when they first started dating and she took him home to meet the parents, did he walk in the house singing "Mother"?
Mother. And his dad's like, why am I never?
No shirt on, just flexing.
I hate Danzig. Such a douche.
Such a poser. I have a feeling as we go through this list, we're going to come across other names as we're talking that are just bad. And we'll point out to avoid these people. Avoid Danzig.
Yeah. No.
All right. My number 5, and I'm going to pause for 2 seconds to start him up. Gary Hoey. You know who Gary Hoey is?
I do not.
Okay, so Gary Hoey is a solo guitarist similar to Joe Satriani, right? Mostly instrumental. He did try a few things where he was singing, but a lot of it's like when Joe tried to
with his hands.
It was not good. But he did. I learned about him when he did a cover of Hocus Pocus. Remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. This dude's cover is absolutely incredible. In fact, it should better be the one that's playing behind me right now after we get done editing.
We'll make sure.
So anyway, Gary Hoey, he does similar like a Buckethead where like different albums will have these different themes. He has like a surf guitar theme.
You know what? I know who you're talking about now.
You know what I'm talking about?
I went on a kick of just trying to find other solo types, and
you hit Gary Hoey?
I made the jump from the surf music to his other material, and I was like, oh, look at that. That's some range right there. Yeah.
So he actually, you remember the old Stars and Stripes Festival in Mount Clemens every summer?
Yes.
And they set up the stages like in the parking lot?
I've only gone there for King's X, but yes.
Okay, so the outdoor stages like in the parking lot outside of like Orleans Pool Hall, right?
Yeah.
They would dig up like REO Speedwagon. Gary Hoey played that stage with the afternoon crowd when there was like 30 people in the parking lot.
So he was like a Monday morning stripper, basically.
Basically. So I was there, standing there with my MGD about 20 feet from Gary Hoey while I was playing, dude. It was awesome because he was just cranking it out, and there was like no one was really paying attention.
And everybody's just like, yeah, this guy.
On a side note, that same stage, before he was big, before his first song came out, Jason Derulo.
What? Oh, was there with him?
R&B guy.
Yeah.
Young guy. So before his first hit was big, and now he's playing like these huge arenas, he was playing that stage outside of Orleans.
With Gary?
That would have been cool. Jason
with Gare Bear.
That would have been good. So anyways, Gary Hoey is my number 5. Check him out.
Beautiful. Okay. Oh, man. So I'm going to throw another, diamond in the whatever crapshoot. John 5. You know John 5? Okay, so
I
John
stopped
5.
listening at John 4.
Shut up. John 5. And I never got into this guy because he made his way through the scene. He was the guitarist for Marilyn Manson and Rob Zombie.
Okay.
So obviously Marilyn Manson has no technically proficient music or usually music even worth putting your ears up to. I'm more of a Rob Zombie fan, but this guy is a huge Steve Vai, Satriani, Buckethead influenced guy. And it's sad because he still looks like he's in Manson. So he started putting out these beautiful albums, still covered in paint, you know, serial killer art, all this crazy shit. But he plays, oh God, what is it? Songs for Sanity is the album to find. Songs for Sanity. Oh, it's gonna pop up. Like Buckethead or any of the guys I said, you'll love John 5. He's got, you know, acoustic albums. He plays classical music straight into just ear pounding, shredding metal. You know, if you have epilepsy, you can't even watch his fingers move, or you'll just
it's just a blur on the neck.
Yeah. John 5 though, love him. He became a huge you know, influence in my musical journey. Yep. Okay.
All right.
That's another
John 5. We'll check him out. My number 4, Jimi Hendrix.
Of course.
Jimmy, most of my rest of my list is not going to be a huge surprise for people. It might be a surprise where they are on the list. I would guess that some people are going to say Jimmy should be higher. Hold on a second.
Once you get in a certain realm of guitarists, what?
You know, 10 minutes in, I figured I'd put it on the split screen. So Jimmy, this
God
damn it. Be one of those episodes, folks. So Jimmy's got those songs that, you know, everybody knows, Purple Haze, Watchtower. They're good, but he's far more bluesy than people who don't listen to him a lot give him credit for. So instead of listening to those Wind Cried Mary and those, which is actually all great songs, go crank out Red House.
In other words, we're cooking, right?
Absolutely perfect Jimi Hendrix.
That was actually the first Hendrix song I ever heard.
Is it really? It's one of the last ones.
Like,
I never even heard of Red House for years after I was listening to him.
Yeah.
Because I kept listening to all the radio stuff. So Red House, the solo he goes into in Red House, but he keeps it just perfectly in line with the melody of the song is classic. Every time we go to a bar that has a Touch Tunes jukebox, I always play Red House. Anyways, check it out.
In my vinyl journey of collecting vinyls, Axis Bold as Love, which is his greatest work, that was the first thing. I rushed to get that on vinyl. Yes. Even without the influence of drugs, the music carries you away. It is
Don't worry, there's plenty of drugs influencing him for everyone else.
Oh, I know. Andy's in the magic.
I mean, the guy, how old was he when he died? 28?
No, he's 27 because he's part of that 27 club.
Oh, 27, that's right. So maybe that's what he might go higher on the list. I mean, imagine if that guy lived.
Imagine if he was alive now. He looked like a black Keith
40s
Richards
before he lost it. Imagine the work he would have come out with.
Well, it's like Tupac. They keep finding new things. Like there was an article a few years ago. Some taxi driver came forward saying he rode Jimmy in his cab like right before he died, and Jimmy was so messed up he left a like a sample of music that was never published. And this cab driver came forward. He sold it for all this money, and that was the Valleys of Neptune or whatever it's called now.
Wow.
Yeah. I was reading real quick. It was some kind of biographical piece on Lemmy Kilmister. I think it was him, you know, from Motorhead.
Yeah.
He's talking about how he's at a show way when he was younger. He got to see Hendrix, and he stuck around. He partied after, and they heard this loud shrieking from behind the stage, and they were like, "Oh my God, Jimmy's attacking some man," and he was having sex with Janis Joplin behind the stage. And they thought he was like
attacking a man.
They thought he was beating the shit out of some guy.
I don't know what's worse, the thought that they thought that was an attack or that they thought Janis was a man.
Poor Janis. Video killed the radio star is very true for people like her.
Oh, so a quick reminder at Flashback. One of the first metal videos back in the early 80s is a band called Crocus.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Go look up Crocus. If you just close your eyes and listen to the song, you're like, it's not a bad song. It's got a pretty good voice. Yeah, it's early 80s metal. Then you open your eyes and look at the guy and you're like, oh my God.
It's Sloth from the Goonies.
Well, I kind of know why they're called Crocus now. He looks like a toad. Got like no neck, it's just big mouth.
Oh.
Anyway, go ahead.
Band of Gypsies, though. That's another great piece Hendrix was a part of.
Doesn't do bad. The guy was incredible. He just wasn't around long enough.
So, Red House, Voodoo Child, Spanish Castle Magic is probably my favorite tune he ever did. Band of Gypsies has a song called Changes. That's another great listen to. Who knows? This might be playing in the background right now.
Don't forget Hey Joe.
What?
Don't forget
Hey Joe's great. I got all of his work. That guy was a fusion masterpiece. They always talked about, all their musicians when they'd see him play, how eloquently he strolled through like every freaking genre on stage. You had the pseudo funk, the blues, the 50s rock and roll, the regular rock. That guy, violated an electric guitar for his era. You know what I mean? Like nobody knew what the hell he was doing.
Electric guitar he was beating up back there? Sure it was Janice?
Ugh. He played her like one. The scene from Back to the Future when McFly goes a little too crazy on stage. That was probably Jimmy when he was, taking off. And no, Chuck Berry's not on my list or anything.
All right, number 3.
Well, it was going to be Jimi Hendrix.
No,
we just dual smashed that together. Good job. I got to go with James Hetfield. Yeah! He is one of the most underrated rhythm guitarists ever. That guy. Yay! Without James, there would be no. Metallica has always been astounding to me because they rise to the top despite being like the most under-talented musicians ever. And it's through great writing, which is James and Lars Ulrich. Lars Ulrich is the worst drummer of all time. Meg White and him are like on the same par for me. He's a little snobby ass tennis playing rich boy, but he's a great writer. But no, James
Lars to Meg White.
No, seriously, he is. He's the Meg White of metal. He sucks.
Boom, boom.
You watch them live, literally, he can't play anything they played back in the day.
Really? He slowed down.
Yeah. So like all of And Justice for All, that's the reason that album exists on print is Pro Tools and cocaine. And he can't do any of that now. All the songs you look forward to the crazy double bass, he just cuts that out right away and just, he's basically playing like a punk beat instead. I'm getting off topic, but James is a very talented rhythm guitar player. And, it's all down picking in the early stuff, which is how they had their tone. So imagine a whole concert, no strumming, just down picking, In high school, that gets you the Americans Award of the Year for that type of hand strength and power. I'm serious. Imagine that.
James Hetfield brought to you by Jergens.
What? Yeah. No, just think of like Master of Puppets alone. He wrote that. Duh, 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 and then it's fast. Everybody I used to play that with when we'd have the basement jams, they'd all play it, up and down. And then I tell them, no, you got to, and then they tap out 4 minutes in because their wrist was about ready to rot off. Anyways, Metallica, pre-Black Album, James Hetfield was the king. I know you love Black Album. I love Black Album too, but I gotta give it to like
yes, they were a whole different band when Black Album came out. I get that.
Yeah,
I preferred
they
it.
were beautiful.
So before Black Album, in my opinion, they had 1 or 2 good songs per album.
Oh, really? You felt that way?
Once Black hit, there was maybe 1 or 2 not good songs on that album. That album was just sweet. Oh yeah, dude.
They're a historical band. They're a historical band. Pre-Black Album, every record. I have every record up until there. After Black Album, it's all garbage.
I don't even know what albums are after Black. It's just pre-Black, and then the rest is just crap.
Same Anger. You ever hear that one?
No.
That is the worst rock album in history. That was Metallica trying to sound. They said the vision they were going for was they were trying to be like Korn and Limp Bizkit, and they were trying to have like a garage, like teenager band.
Saint Anger around my neck.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Trying to be
Lars'
young.
snare drum on that album is literally a trash can. Like that's what that is them at their lowest. But they brought it back. I don't know if you've listened to new Metallica.
No.
They have brought it
I'm
back.
just disappointed that you don't care for Black as much as I do.
Their last
fantastic.
2 albums are perfect. Yeah, but that's me. I don't get me wrong. Black Album is a extremely beautifully produced album. And after And Justice for All, it's nice to actually hear a bass on it. But it just gets too, I'm the other way around. It gets too slow. I feel like with Black Album, I got, all the songs are great, but there's maybe 4 or 5 standout ones, and the rest of it's just too slow pace. And, you know, I'm fucking galloping the horse, listening to, you know, Ride the Lightning and Justice for All and all that. Yeah. But anyways, James Hetfield, best rhythm guitar. I like him better than Kirk Hammett or, you know, Kirk Whammett with his wah, wah,
I didn't know we
every
were going rhythm guitarist, so okay, that's
well, because I'm also thinking my personal favorites. Not all these guys are mad shredders. Like Hetfield can't shred. He makes some great solos, but I'm about his writing. I'm about he holds the band up with his rhythm. You know, that's what I'm saying. Anyways, next.
gotcha. No, it's a favorite list, so whatever you want. So number 3, and I thank you for this guy, The Bucket.
The Bucket.
The Bucket.
He's up to 314 albums as of this week.
And this is why he's not 2 or 1. I mean, I love him, but when you're cranking out that much stuff, it's hard to differentiate, and you can't keep. He makes some primo quality songs, some of my favorite guitar songs ever made, but you can't duplicate that over hundreds of albums. So some of his stuff,
it's a lot of filler
I'm
stuff.
like, was he just bored one afternoon and he just decided to like?
That's all this guy does. He is a weird savant, you know, Rain Man.
Some of it's just bad, and some of it's fantastic, and you got to find a.
It's like I said, when you make that much content, it's a lot of filler stuff. But
yeah,
but then
I would rather him make less content and not so much filler. But
I think that's how he finds it, is just through. He's probably the
whatever he's doing. I'm not complaining. Whatever he's doing, he's doing something right, because I love his stuff. That's most of the time. That's what I put on my headphones.
He probably sits and jams and just records everything, and then sells it, because this guy doesn't have any other job. You really think he's raking money? He has his own website selling, you know, his CDs for $5 a pop, and now he's doing those pikes. Yeah. And that's hard to get into, those pikes, because a lot of those, it's like 17-minute songs.
Right.
And as much as I love anything, it's hard for me to stay focused on 17 minutes.
So songs like Light in the Fog. Standing in a Field.
Yeah.
Long jams that are just absolutely stunning music. What I like about The Bucket is, and you talked about this earlier about Jimmy, but no one can bounce from one genre to another like this guy.
Oh, no.
His
He's got the
stuff is
thrashers, the acoustic.
Unbelievable.
He's got surf music. He's got a mariachi album. He's got everything.
Yeah, he's incredible. And he's so under the radar. I didn't know who this guy was. I've been listening to rock forever. And
that's what's hard to scoop him into people, though, because for what? Probably 6 freaking months of me telling you about Buckethead? You're like, oh, whatever.
Well,
it's more your idiot bullshit.
The name,
just like
Buckethead.
Django Unchained.
And as soon as you Google it, you see his freaking bucket on the head and the mask and the hair.
Oh, he's a ridiculous gimmick.
What kind of stupid clown is my brother asking me to listen to? But trust me, ladies and gentlemen, listen to Buckethead. And here's the songs I'm going to suggest. Siege Engine. These are individual songs, not albums. Siege Engine, Light in the Fog, Standing in the Field. And is it Little Project Man?
Yep.
A Little Project Man. Those 4 songs I think are a good, and Witches on the Heath. Those 5 songs will give you a good range of what he can do
by your list.
without getting into the weird mariachi stuff.
And he's got some insane heavy metal. He does a lot of, some of those albums are just noises with guitar chops and yeah.
Yeah, but when he wants to be melodic, it's pretty impressive.
I call him the guitar equivalent to Les Claypool.
Well, he works with Les a lot.
That is the best way I could do it. And they collaborate a lot.
Yeah.
They have a band called Colonel Claypool's Bucket of Bernie Brains.
I think that sums up right there. The dude is weird. So
and it's the most eclectic, progressive mix of just funk and jazz and rock and yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but he's the guitar player who took over for Slash with Guns N' Roses when Slash quit, right?
Yes. He also was supposed to play with Ozzy, and Ozzy said, "I'll only let you in if you take the mask and bucket off."
He's like, "No, I'm not going to do it." And then he was too weird for Guns N' Roses.
Oh, dude, the interviews are hilarious. The shit Buckethead pulled on them.
So just think about that. When you're too strange for Guns N' Roses.
He has this thing with chickens, which you'll
What?
see in a lot of his album covers and
chicken.
artwork. Chickens, also KFC, Kentucky Fried Funeral, he always says. But when he was with Guns N' Roses, they said his dressing room had to be a fully functional chicken coop. And then he would sit in the middle of the chicken coop, and they said he watched like extreme pornography all day in the chicken coop on a TV. And that's how he got inspiration, and that's how he wrote material. And so I'm like, well, whatever, do you, man. It works.
Look, we're going to talk about this when we get later in the list. Some of these people are not the greatest. They're strange human beings, but we're rating them for their music, not because they're a saint.
Well, sometimes that's how you get to where you are, I guess. If Buckethead was an accountant every day, he'd probably be, I don't know. I can't even think. He doesn't talk to people either. I've seen this guy so many times, and he always plays the last song, drops everything, and there's a van waiting out back for him, and he runs outside, jumps in the van, and all of his people clean up after him.
Wow.
But he does throw toys. He always has bags of toys. You always come home with a goodie.
All right, man. What's your number 3? Or wait, you're on 2.
I don't know, because I had Buckethead too. So, we keep collaborating. I think I'm going to keep cracking more into my list. I have to give an honorable mention to Tom Morello. You know Tom Morello?
Rage Against the Machine, right?
Rage Against the Machine, Audio Slave, Prophets of Rage. He does this thing called the Night Watchman. Class of 99? He was on there. It was a super group with Lane Staley singing. They did a badass cover of Brick in the Wall. From Pink Floyd?
Yeah, I know Brick in the Wall. Lane Staley. When did they do this?
Oh, I couldn't even tell you.
Lane died a long time ago.
I don't remember the year, but the project was called Class of 99, and they covered Brick in the Wall.
Okay.
And it's beautiful. I think it's the bass player from Jane's Addiction.
Okay.
With but Tom Morello is definitely, love or hate the bands, the music. The guy is innovative. Obviously the whole prospect of Rage was exactly sounding like a rap group almost with just the bass and the drums and him doing all of his weird ass, but he carried that into Audio Slave. Were you an Audio Slave fan at all?
I wanted to be. I think Chris Cornell kind of lost the power of his voice at that point in his career.
That's the thing. Audio Slave could never function live near the end.
Yeah, his range was completely gone.
He sounded like a Newport lady when he tried and belt the high notes out.
Yeah, you listen to Audio Slave and you go back and listen to some old Soundgarden and you're just like, doesn't have it anymore. And he's so talented, but dude, when you get older, the voice.
Smoking and drinking.
It'll do that to you.
Yeah. Yeah. But Tom Morello, no, definitely. Listen to, Audio Slave, Cochise opens up. Remember Cochise? song
Oh,
Coaching.
yeah. I know that
Okay, the
song.
first like 45 seconds of that song is a helicopter taking off, and that's Tom with a kill switch on his guitar making the helicopter noise. Original Fire, he's making monkey noises. On there, everybody knows Bulls on Parade. The guitar solo on there is him, mimicking a DJ scratching the record. And on top of that guy's riffs, man, he does a track with Primus called Mama Didn't Raise No Fool off their, I don't know. But anyways, anytime you hear Tom Morello, you know it's him. And that's just points right there.
Oh, he's unique, yeah. Well, I was actually in honorable mention. He's not on my list, but I was going to put Angus Young on the list. Not because he's good, but he's so unique.
You just love those shorts.
You know exactly when an AC/DC song is coming on because they all sound alike and they sound nothing like anybody else. Like you listen to one AC/DC song, you've heard them all at that point.
Yeah.
But doesn't mean they're bad.
No.
Anyway. Yeah, Morello's a good pick. I'll give you that. I may teleport after this second one. For number one, I may teleport as my battery is at 11%. So if you suddenly see me go boom, and all of a sudden there's a different background, you'll know. All right, number two, Uncle Joe. And no, I don't mean Joe Biden. Joe Satriani. Joe Satriani. Get mad?
No, you said Joe Biden. I sniffed my computer.
Oh. Smells like victory. All right.
Smells like hope.
So Joe Satriani was my original guitar soloist hero when I was in middle school and early high school. And this album I came across, and actually shout out to our cousin Julie. We were driving around in her car and she put this tape in, and it was a Joe Satriani tape, Surfing with the Alien. Possibly still one of the greatest rock albums ever recorded. It's absolutely fantastic. It blew my mind.
That is a great album. That takes me back. I think I found that album in high school. I LimeWired it. Every single track individually I had to find on LimeWire.
LimeWire.
At the cost of a whole home PC, I downloaded that album.
Now I have Apple Music and I can download anything ever all the time for my $9 a month.
So did you like his recent stuff? Like, did you listen to Shapeshifting or anything?
Not intentionally. I listen to, I have a Joe Satriani Pandora station.
Oh, so you just accidentally.
And things will pop up and I'll kind of see what album. Crystal Planet is one of his best albums, I think.
Yeah.
Obviously, Surfing with the Alien is a fantastic one. What's the one with Wormhole Wizards? Anyway, something about Wormhole Wizards in the name. I can't remember the rest of the name of the album. Is also fantastic. There's one album out there, and I don't remember the name of it because my brain is trying to remove it from my psyche, sort of like Star Wars Episode 1, where he tries to sing a few tracks on it.
Oh, God.
So Google that and avoid that album, but pretty much
Put that on the list with Metallica, Saint Anger.
And the super group Chickenfoot that came out not too long ago.
With my boy Chad Smith.
His boy Chad Smith, my boy Sammy Hagar, my favorite vocalist of all time, Joe Satriani, and then, Michael Anthony just as like little frosting on the cake. He's nothing to get too excited about, but
yeah.
He's got his own hot sauce line, which is pretty good. So, but anyway, Joe Satriani turns anything he touches into gold, whether it's these super groups or just keeping solo albums. If you love guitarists, you cannot go wrong with Joe Satriani, ever.
He comes in the, solo virtuoso 101 handbook who can, kick ass. I want to figure this out. Satch is on there. Yeah.
Okay, watch this.
No, what happened?
Oh.
Oh.
Wormholes. All right. We were on your number one, sir.
Oh, God. Okay.
We need a drum
So
roll.
I'm not gonna lie. I killed the whole flow of this because I don't have a definitive number one, and we just probably don't even really...
nobody's checking your answers. This is not an exam.
Dimebag Daryl.
Oh.
Yeah. Yes. From Panana. Yes.
From Panera Bread?
Yeah, from Panera.
Does he come with a baguette?
I always remember that. I had someone ask me that. Like they were mocking me. They're like, "How's that Panana concert?" And I had a Pantera shirt on, and they were wearing Tupac, and I said, "Almost as good as Tupac Shaker." Anyways,
And then a fight
Dimebag.
started.
Some call out songs to his guitar work. Message in Blood. Domination is my name. Cemetery Gates, the solo on there. Everybody knows
Cemetery Gates is a good song.
But Pantera would not have been Pantera without Dimebag.
He did have a unique
Damage
sound.
Plan. What?
He did have a unique sound.
Oh, he did. His riffage was insane, and he was technically proficient. And in real life, he was a fucking drunk baboon. He was, that's it with that giant painted goat beard on his face. But Pantera has had a lot of inconsistencies start to finish, and the only thing I have found through every album is Dime is on there, and he's kicking ass. He's killing it. And he is definitely, even if he wasn't dead right now, I would still be kissing his ass. The most innovative, one of the most innovative metal guitar players at his time. Pantera paved the way to what was called like groove metal, because it wasn't thrash, it wasn't heavy, it was just southern rock with ass-kicking metal.
So I have a theory why you like Dimebag and Pantera so much.
Why? Because I'm white?
In the fall of 91,
I have ears? Oh, what?
something happened in the fall of 91. You were born.
Oh, my God.
At the same time, I was working at Musicland at Lakeside Mall.
Oh.
And we would put these demo CDs or tapes on and just kind of play over the speakers.
Yeah.
And the managers would get to pick which demo tape. So some of them would be like there'd be a new age demo and it would have a bunch of different artists, or then there'd be a pop demo, a bunch of different artists. And one of the managers decided to put on a rock demo tape. And it was mostly pretty easy listening rock. It wasn't nothing. And then we were just walking around, sorting stuff out, helping customers. And then Walk came on. I'd never heard that song before.
Vulgar display of power, baby.
Oh, dude. And everyone just kind of stopped. It was like, dun, 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 dun. And all of a sudden everyone's head started doing this.
That's what I'm talking about. It's that chugging like groove.
Oh,
that
yeah.
they
You
make in their music.
cannot listen to that song and keep your head. You have to like a neck brace.
Oh, yeah.
Your head from doing this, and you still bust the brace. That was almost the same time that you were born. So I'm thinking in the universe, there was sort of a convergence of energies. You were probably entering the world while that was playing, and that explains your musical taste.
Yeah. See, I say the same thing about Emma, my daughter, with Buckethead, because Amanda was pregnant as hell, looking like she was about to explode, and we went and saw Buckethead, and that was
You
I would
saw
say
live while she was okay.
And I'm like, oh, what's the harm in taking a pregnant chick to a show? But his setup, man, the floor was shaking. You could like feel inside of your head like vibrating. It was so heavy and like thick, the music coming out. And we were joking like, holy shit, this baby's like microwaving inside of her right now with all these sound waves bouncing around. But I think, I impregnated my wife, and it was going to be born one way, and then the Buckethead music waves re-impregnated her. And it's like this three-way child.
Buckethead saved you because it turned Emma into who she is instead of what she could have been if it was just left up to you.
She's part chicken, robot, Martian, Buckethead.
And she does love Buckethead, doesn't she?
Yeah, she gets down. She call him out by name.
Is she around?
She is at school. School sucks.
Does.
Make podcasts.
Oh, yeah. Well, my school starts soon, so
It's gonna be a shirt with my face on.
we're gonna be stretching out the time between these podcasts. All right.
Yeah, where were we? Dimebag. We were ranting about Dimebag. And
yes.
And then he died, and that was the end of his story. Great.
Well, speaking of weird individuals who know how to rock, my number one, no surprise to anyone who has ever met me, Eddie Van Halen.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
He didn't even make it in my list.
You know, likes Eddie? No way. Yeah. Eddie Van Halen, I think, is the greatest guitar player ever, head and shoulders above anybody else. He has a sound that's very unique. They used to call it, all the guitar magazines in the 80s used to call it the brown sound because it didn't have that screechy.
Does it made you shit your pants when you heard it?
No, it was like it was hard and yet mellow at the same time. It was interesting.
It was crispy and clean.
What is in your coffee this morning, man?
Nothing. Nothing.
All right, now I lost my train. Okay, so
Brown sound.
Eddie Van Halen, as the band evolved over time, so did his sound. So there's the David Lee Roth version of Eddie, which was definitely more focused on speed. Then when Sammy took over as singer, I think is when Eddie really found himself as a musician. I think the two best albums that band's ever put out were the first two with Sammy. That's 5150 and OU812. I go back and forth to this day on which one's my favorite rock album of all time. Depends on what mood I'm in, but they're right there neck and neck. And they're so very different from each other. I heard an interview once and they were talking about OU812 just came out and 5150 was a huge hit. And they're talking about how it was different. And they said the focus, 5150 was a party album and OU812 was the band grown up, much more mature. Still some great riffs on that. Some examples on OU812, there's a song called Source of Infection. It's just a guitar playing. There's nothing else for a while. It's just him going at it. It's incredible. It's very pure. On 5150, Get Up. These songs never hit the radio. Get Up by Van Halen on 5150 album it's sort of like we talked about Walk. Your just moves. If you don't actually get up and start moving your body around when Get Up comes on, there's something wrong with you. It's incredible. Sadly, when the band started disintegrating, so did Eddie, I think mentally and physically. The poor guy ended up he got cancer, he had alcohol issues, his wife left him. He must have had some mental issues because he decided to replace Sammy with Dave Sharon. I mean, Dave Sharon, really? That's who you went with? And that was one of my more heartbreaking moments in my life is when I went to go see Van Halen for like the 5th time, and it was the Dave Sharon Van Halen. It was at the Palace.
First world problems.
The opening band was Creed. So this would have been like 98 maybe, somewhere in there.
Oh, God.
Right. So when you think of Creed, you think of him doing his little Jesus pose and being all over dramatic like he does in his videos. But I'm going to tell you, live, this is after their first album before they got too loco. Dude, they were awesome live. Like they were just a regular rock band, not trying to be all Jesus-y. They were really, really good. And then Van Halen came on, and Gary Sharon's jumping around, grabbing himself like he's a like Magic Mike dancer or something.
Yeah.
Got like a feather boa. Like, dude, stop. I remember being there after about 3 songs, just telling my friends, like, this is an abomination. All I ask is please don't let him bastardize my favorite song. And then all of a sudden Dreams came on and he bastardized my favorite song. And I just went into the suite and shut the door. And I'm like, I can't listen to this. It was horrible. And then it was it. They did it.
You're like one of the girls crying at a Justin Bieber show and he comes out late or something. They just ruined it for you. You just. Oh,
yeah, they did a reunion tour with Sammy in the early 2000s. I went to it. It was really good, but they couldn't get along for more than 2 months. That was it, done. So there was no permanent reunion, and that was the end of it. So it's something I know I'm never going to get any new Van Halen. I've kind of resolved that that's never going to happen.
You come to terms with it and moved your life on.
Which is sad because once in a while you find obscure stuff. Like there's a song called Donut City, I think it's called, from the 80s. It's just a
Delicious.
solo track, one track. I think it's on some movie soundtrack. And it's just Eddie Van Halen.
I love finding those tidbits, those little
Yeah.
nuggets.
And most people, I mean, like "Beat It" by Michael Jackson. That's Eddie Van Halen. No, hardly anyone knows that, right? But he tears it up. So there's a
The intro to Power Rangers was Buckethead.
well, the whole soundtrack for what's the Schwarzenegger movie that he did the whole soundtrack? Last Action Hero. That's all Buckethead, isn't it?
I don't know.
Oh, don't tell me I taught you something about
We will
Buckethead.
fact check this.
Okay,
Oh.
yeah. He's gonna-
We'll put this in the editing room.
Yeah. We'll come back in a second and know if it's true or not. There'll be words across the screen to let us know the information. Disclaimer.
Oh yeah.
Right there. All right, so that's my favorite of all time. I'll get some new stuff from, let's see, 3 of my 5 can still make me more music.
Oh, so there's still
One can't and one won't, and the other 3 still I can look forward to more music from.
Yeah, I guess that's mine. Some people I wanted to add on real quick. Muddy Waters. Muddy Waters is the man. Reefer and Champagne. Hoochie Coochie Man. Make
How
love
about-
to you.
How about Chuck Berry?
I go with Muddy. I'm not a huge Chuck Berry guy. Muddy Waters made the literally first electric guitar album, and
No,
with
he's
the blues and-
fantastic. I'm just saying Chuck Berry because of his influential, like he was groundbreaking, and so many people.
oh yeah.
copied
But much
Chuck
like
Berry.
Van Halen to me, I respect him, but I just can't jump into it.
Gotcha.
I got certain things. For some reason, Muddy and his old ass sludgy blues works for me, but Chuck Berry doesn't.
I'm gonna send you 3 Van Halen tracks you may never have heard before, and see if I can change your mind.
Is Get Up on that list?
Have you heard "Get Up" before?
No.
Then it's on that.
Now
list.
it's 4 songs.
Anyway,
Okay. Good.
all right. Talk to us about booze.
Just take a look at this bottle and try and guess why I thought I'd try this one out.
Jeez, you pulled you pulled a Mangano, is what you did.
You got sucked in by
You bought
brandage.
something by the label. This must be good. It's got a nice label.
I checked that it was a stout, and then the label, so it did it for me. Yeah, but
Well,
come on,
talk
we
about it.
established this last time. I'm a sucker for Tarantino-isms.
Was it any
Yeah,
good?
why, do you do that a lot?
Do what?
You do that a lot? Are you like, oh, look at that?
I try not to. My family is known for that. Family parties. My dad and my aunt will be like, "Oh, look at this label. It's nice. This must be a good wine." Or if it's from Sicily. If it's from Sicily,
Oh, obviously it's great.
it's sort of like the Sicilian version of Big Fat Greek Wedding. Like there's Greek and then there's everybody else.
Oh, yeah. Sicilian and then garbage.
Right.
Subhuman, yeah.
I think Sicilian wine cures cancer. It's great.
Oh, this isn't Sicilian. This is for the serfs. Toss it. Yeah. Yeah.
Stag's
Unfinished
Leap. This is
business, though.
garbage.
Japanese Emperor Stout, aged in single malt bourbon barrels. I haven't touched a beer yet. This 1 pint retails $15. So, and I am not a huge craft beer douche in that sense where I can be knocking these back all the time or even care enough to venture out into it. Oh, sure, I'd love a quarter growler for $70. Yeah. Yeah, no, I can never be one of those guys. That's how my side story. So Victoria, my cousin, her now husband, he's a PBR fellow.
Good man.
He was out at a bar somewhere after I met him, and then the party moved to a brewery, and some guy was talking shit outside with a cup probably this big, maybe an inch more than a shot glass, and the kid paid like $25 for that, and he was talking shit. Victoria's guy just walks up to him and just smacks it out of his hand and then gets in his car and drives away. That's the craft beer crowd.
Dude, if I'm going to pay 20-something bucks for this much of a liquid, it better be bourbon.
It better be bourbon that
Not
at least
beer.
gets the night rolling. Yeah, no, I can't get that. I went through a craft beer phase, and the magic thing about beer too is you stop drinking it and you're like, Oh, I lost like 15 pounds. What the hell happened?
Oh, dude, other way around. Just if you haven't drank it for a while and you have like 2 beers in a row, you feel like someone hooked you up to a bike pump. You just feel like inflated.
Oh, yeah. Especially me, because I always get these thick-ass, dark I never thought I'd grow into this. I used to gag at the thought of these beers, but this stuff pours like sludge. It's blacker than my heart and my soul.
Knife to cut it, right?
Yeah. No, it's thick. It's chocolate rich, and the bourbon barrel is very strong but pleasant. I've had the ones that knock you off your ass. I don't know. It's a really unusual blend. It's malt.
You recommend it though? Is it worth the money?
Oak heavy, yes. Even if it wasn't Kill Bill influenced on the cover.
Okay.
I'd give it a try. If you could find it somewhere less than $15. This was in the corner of a place and they hadn't sold it in so long, and they just basically had it in the We Give Up section of the store. And I said, you know what? I'll take you home. Then it worked out. 13.1% ABV.
Isn't that what Amanda said when she met you?
Unfinished. Yeah, basically. Yeah.
What the hell? I'm feeling charitable.
Oh, broken toy aisle. Yeah. I'm an island of misfit toys.
The broken toy.
Let's get some tape and take them home and see what we make.
Where's the toy aisle of Dollar Tree? Oh, look at Josh.
Oh, yeah. Hey, those are the best. Yeah.
Because if you break them, who cares?
Just the parodies they do. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So it's a good beer. Once in a while, I dug into this last night, obviously, because I'm not about to slam this whole thing and go to work. And it's just so malted and thick. Yeah, I could probably describe the taste profile of this with a Barry White voice, and it'll make sense. But yeah, I'd recommend it. You find it somewhere a little cheaper, or maybe in your area where these evil salesmen don't get in the way of making alcohol progress. Yes, I will give that a 4 out of 5 on my drink scale.
Oh, very nice, very nice.
Yes.
All right. So next week, or whenever it is we record.
We've been on a pretty. Oh yeah, you're back at work next week.
Oh yeah. I know. What do you want to record? What do you want to talk about?
We're gonna figure this out. Let's have our rabid fan base load up the comment section again.
So I think we give them some options. I think guy-friendly chick flicks.
I could rock those all day.
That'll bring in
people act like my diet is just garbage, death and gore, and vomit hooker trilogies and stuff like that. But no, I'm a deep guy too.
So that's an option. I think if we do that, we each bring a box of tissues. So when we're crying and talking about these movies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All
right. Well, we'll put some options in the comments and we'll look at your votes and we'll record what you guys pick. Or like in this case, what the one thing you avoided.
Beautiful. Yeah. We made it work though. We made it work.
All right. So let's have some Buckethead take us out. So DJ. There we go. Awesome.
All right.
Ladies
See you all sometime.
This is Dino. That's Josh signing off. Brocasting.
Ciao.